More like when are we?
Oh.
Never mind.
A look at the trailer for the Netflix series Russian Doll. It's an Emmy Award winner back for a season 2, premiering back in 2019 and gaining wide critical acclaim because of a script that really didn't seem to follow any conventional guidelines. So it's back to much anticipation, and so is Jackson Weaver, back to tell us more. Welcome back, Jackson. Good to see you this morning.
Great
Tell
to
me
talk
a
to
little
you.
bit of what's new in season 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot new. As a little bit of recap, you mentioned a bit of it, but the show is kind of confusing. So let's go back to season 1. 36-year-old Nadia, played by Natasha Lyonne, who directed, stars in it, of course, and wrote it, conceived the show as well, wakes up on her 36th birthday and promptly dies. She wakes back up at that party in her bathroom and tries to survive that day, fails, dies, gets looped back to the beginning again, tries to figure out what's going on, what is happening in that looping scenario. It was hugely iconic, spawned a slew of memes, of jokes, a huge cultural place. I was actually able to speak with Natasha Lyonne about the success of season 1 and how much everyone's anticipating season 2. And while she first said she was only in it for the memes, she said that the ecstatic feeling that people have, the connection that people have to the show, both made her excited to make a season 2, but also kind of nervous to get back on the horse again.
It is very scary to do a sort of sophomore album, which is, I guess, how I looked at it. But it's also, there's a real buoying sort of factor to, I guess, the audience response of enjoying the deep dive that was season 1.
Now, more than 3 years later, we're back to the show. This one subverts the trope a little bit. Since 2019, when that first season came out, I think we've had a slew of time loop multiversal movies. This one is now a time-traveling time loop story. It again digs very deeply into Lyonne's past. It focuses on her mother, her issues with her mother, the character's mother, and Natasha Lyonne's own mother, played by Chloe Sevigny. It's a deeper look into that past, and a host of old characters return, old actors return. There's Charlie Barnett also stuck in this loop with her. Greta Lee comes back. And there's also some new characters. Rosie O'Donnell makes a cameo. And one thing that's very exciting is actually Schitt's Creek's own Annie Murphy has a huge part to play in this dark but comic new season.
Well, you say dark. Darker than the first, it seems, Jackson.
Yeah, it's almost difficult to imagine darker than season 1 Russian Doll, which is about a woman who perpetually dies, comes back to life, dies, trying to deal with why life even matters. And it's somehow a comedy. But Russian Doll season 1, as I said, was very much a personal essay, semi-autobiographical for Natasha Lyonne. She drew from her life, which she started as a child actor in a very, very precarious, difficult, she self-described a very difficult situation. She was pushed into it a bit by her mother. She's estranged from both parents now, but season 2 really dives even further back. There's a lot I can't say. There's some caveats. One, Netflix doesn't want us to spoil things. Two, you really want to deal with this, but I can say that issues of Natasha Lyonne's past going further back. She is a granddaughter of Holocaust survivors. Her mother had undiagnosed mental illness. Those are much larger parts of this new season, but that kind of darker aspect is actually what brought co-star Charlie Barnett back into it. He said it's his favorite show he's ever worked on, and that personal aspect really dragged him in. Take a listen to what he told me.
There was no reason why I wouldn't want to enter back into this. As an actor, it's personally for me, it's been one of it is, I'm sorry to say to my other projects, but it's my favorite project I've ever worked on. It's brought me to places that I've never been allowed to go, and it's allowed me opportunities as a creative that I never thought I would ever be able to have.
Now, I mean, it is beautiful season 2. It's almost as great as season 1, but I will say that that expanded scope, she's dealing with so many things, issues with her, as I said, mother, her ancestral past, her issues with her surrogate mother. Charlie Barnett has his own journey. There's so much there, so much analysis, so much reference that it gets a little bit muddy. I might say it doesn't quite live up to the tight, packed, direct nature of season 1. All that said, though, not living up to season 1 of Russian Doll is a pretty big, a high bar. So I will say this is 4 out of 5 stars, almost as fantastic as season 1, not quite as good.